This episode is brought to you by gaslighting. Definitely my number one most hated terms of 2022. It's pretty much up there with toxic masculinity and mansplaining. Why? Because those words are generally used to describe what cisgendered men are doing in conversation. And for those of you who hate that I just included cisgendered in that, y'all can suck my born with it dick. Anywho, gaslighting is described as manipulating someone using psychological methods into questioning their own sanity or powers of reasoning. So here's a scenario. You come home from work and your wife is mad that you didn't take out the trash. Normally you both take out the trash in varying times simply because the trash is full. But she wanted you to do it today because she had a lot on her mind. So your response to her would be, how was I supposed to know you wanted me to take out the trash? I don't read minds. And she would respond with, don't gaslight me. Because her reality is that you can read minds, or quote unquote, men should just know. And now you are trying to manipulate her into believing that you don't read minds or men don't always know. You are gaslighting her. See how this is a stupid fucking phrase? Because if you believe the world is flat, if a person believes the world is flat and you say it's wrong and you use facts to prove it, that's considered gaslighting. So those of you that continue to use this phrase, do me a favor. Douse yourself in gasoline and light yourself on fire. Don't worry, you won't die. But then again, maybe now I'm gaslighting you. Now let's start the episode. Welcome to episode 75 of the Arsons Woes podcast where a bunch of dumbass millennials talk about the dumbest opinions, the dumbest perspectives, the dumbest mistakes, and the dumbest complaints. I'm your host, Nelson. Thank you for joining me today. Episode 75, we've been on break. We about to hit it hard over the next couple of weeks, though, because next episode we are releasing, we're releasing Rap and Wrestle podcast. And the podcast after that is Penrose versus Anybody podcast. So make sure you tune in for the next 2 episodes to see those new podcasts that are coming under YCC. Shout out all the other podcasts that are under YCC. Shout out Princess Ride, shout out Tunes Attention, shout out Blurred Watch, shout out The Sticks, and shout out Gerani's Open Mic, and shout out Limelight Vibes. I'm trying to make these shout outs really quick for Q, who's always bitching about how long they are. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us on our website, yccentertainment.com. Bam. All out. As far as my guest for today, damn, it's been like 50 episodes since you've been back. I think the last one was like 25.
It's been a while, man. I was just thinking back. The first episode was 2019? Right before
when we started.
Right before the pandemic? No, pandemic?
Pandemic?
Yeah, right before the pandemic. A lot of business owners was like, hey, we got to figure it out. Let's cut our costs.
It was a pandemic last. It was like 40-something you came, or 30-something you came. Because you brought your mans with it, yeah. Mm-hmm. Boats in the band, or boat shoes on the pandemics.
Exactly.
Money Malc has returned. And I think this is the perfect time for you to be here with the fact that it's the top of the year, tax season. Hey, granted, some people probably already spent theirs on Valentine's Day. Fools. But perfect time, post-pandemic, post-plandemic, and watching this money increase.
Right.
So, and I mean that across the board, but we're going to get into that. We're going to start off with the sin of the day, war of the week. Sin of the day is, I banned a nigga for asking for a Snapchat. Yeah, we was doing Limelight Vibes, and we had a new lady come and perform. You could tell she was a little nervous. Like, it was her first time being up on stage to perform, here specifically. And so she got up on stage and she was performing, and Leah, the host, one of the hosts of Limelight Vibes, she does what she always does. Where can they find you? So she started to say her Instagram, and some guy was in the background like, yeah, what's your Snapchat? And I came from the back, because I'm production during that show, so I stay in the back room. And I come out from the back. I was like, yo, who the fuck just asked for the Snapchat? We don't do that here. Don't ask for nothing. It's like asking for somebody's OnlyFans in this.
He was trying to get the exclusive.
That's what I'm saying.
He's like, yo, this girl looks so good. I know what I'm going to send her. And there's no proof. So.
Cucumber. Eggplant.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, no, we don't do that here. You do not ask. You guys for Instagram, you guys for Twitter, that's it. Mm-hmm. If they got a SoundCloud, you guys for that. Well, those are where we draw the line, okay? That's what's on the sign-up sheet. That's what they're allowed to fill out. Don't be asking for nobody OnlyFans. Don't be asking for nobody Snapchat Premium.
I've never heard anybody ask that in public. Like, yo, let me get your Snapchat. What? The hell?
Yeah, that was great. For you to ask somebody that was on stage,
Yeah,
too, thinking she was going to say it.
He was thirsty. Yeah, it's XX. It was
You know it's bad when it starts with XX.
right.
XX and then a color or a body part, like hearts or brain, XX brains, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm like, yo, you toxic.
XX feet, something.
Yeah, just your mic.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, no, so I came back at the end of the show and I was like, yo, who the fuck asked for the Snapchat? Hey, nigga, you can't come back next week. See you in 2, but you can't come back next week. You can't do that.
So did you see him come back and was he like with his head down like, I'm good?
Nah. This was this past Wednesday.
Okay.
So if he comes back this Wednesday, yeah, I'm gonna call him out about that shit.
He'll be back.
I'm sure he will if he think he can come in here and start asking for Snapchats. That's a problem.
He gonna be the first to raise his hand. Can I get your Instagram? Look at you for approval. Like,
And it's funny because I be in the back, so the only way like I know that they know I'm looking at them is when they look at the camera. So if he sneak around and try to look directly at the camera and like give a thumbs up, that'd be fucking wild. But yeah, don't be coming. You come to Limelight Vibes or Girani's open night, don't ask for nobody's fucking Snapchat. That also includes OnlyFans. Don't think just because I didn't say it, it's not implied. Don't be ask for nobody's exclusive content.
yeah, let everybody know the limits because they will do it.
Right.
No.
What's your? I'm telling you, bro. That's like asking for like, what's your xvideos.com/handle?
Do you like to be recorded? Like, whoa, that's
She's on stage during a live show.
yeah, that's iffy, brother. Chill out.
Yeah, that was crazy. And that's as simple as that for my fucking sin of the day. Don't come to these shows asking. Don't be in public asking for nobody's Snapchat. Wait till you have their Instagram and they be like, yo, finesse the game. Mm-hmm. Yo, I usually only on Snapchat, so if you want to talk to me, DM me there, blah, blah. My woe of the week, and I want to get into this house camp situation that I ran into because I reached out to you about that.
Right.
So backstory for the audience, I was looking at houses to rent in the Woodbridge area, and I came across one and was like, "Hey, no credit required, just first month's deposit, or no credit report required, just first month's deposit." But I didn't really care about that. It was the price of it. I was like, "Oh shit, a 3-bedroom fucking townhouse for, I think it was like $2,200." Mm-hmm. I was like, "That's not bad for a townhouse with a garage and 2 living room spaces." I was like, bet, like, let me look into this. So then, like, you click on it, it's on Craigslist. Mm-hmm. And you click on it, and then, like, the requirements are asking for, like, a copy of your birth certificate, a copy of your social security card, a copy, 2 forms of identification, the last year of your bank statements, the last year of your electricity bill, and I'm looking at them like, wait, what do you need my bank statements for? Like, and it just got kind of suspect. And at a certain point, I like trolling niggas on, like, when I be seeing shit like this.
Right.
Maybe later on I'll tell you about the scheme that I tried to pull with this bullshit ass company. But I'll say that for the Patreon. But I'm looking at all this, like, you need bank account information, and you need
Birth certificate.
Like, birth certificate, social security card, and stuff like that. And most people just need your social security number.
Right.
And I'm looking at all this stuff, and I'm like, this is fishy. We call this guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, so you need copies of this and you need copies of that. And he's like, yeah, fax. I think he said fax it to me. Either he said fax it to me, or I don't think he even said email. I think he said fax it to me. Mm. And I was like, well, do you have a building that I can come to, like, to drop it off? No, it's too much work. It's out of the way. Oh, no, that's not a problem. I got time. Like, can I just show up to the building? Oh, well, nobody's ever at the building, so blah, blah, blah. Like, it's going to be really hard. I'm like, well, this kind of just seems fishy, so can you reassure me that this is, like, legitimate? And he's like, well, yeah, you can fax it to me. And I'm like, okay, that's not good. So that's when I called you, and I called up Vaughn, too.
Right.
Because I think I got in contact with Vaughn first. And then we talked about it. And it just seemed like, since you're in the realtor industry, I would think that you've seen one or 2 of these situations.
Yeah, I mean, it sounded like a scam just because of the birth certificate part. I've never seen that aspect. Of course, you're going to ask for Social Security. You're going to ask for the bank statements. Electricity bill, I haven't heard that one yet, but you may ask for bank statements just to see what type of income they're coming in with. But that birth certificate, he was about to clone you. He was about to be you.
That's what I got. Even now the bank statement catches me off guard because most people will say, send me a copy of your paycheck. If I see, like, if you ask for the last 3 paychecks, but and now I remember, he asked for like the last 4 months of your paycheck or the last 4 pay stubs and your bank account, like a copy of your current bank account.
So they usually ask for your, they'll ask for maybe like 1 pay stub just to verify that you have employment, maybe 2. They want to get your taxes. So really he should just ask for your last 2 years of taxes, income, and that's it. Social Security, fill out the application. Like
Why taxes?
They just want to make sure that you file your taxes. That's, you got to definitely make sure that everything's good with the man. So.
No, because money laundering and shout out Andrew Tate.
right.
Conversation for another time.
We appreciate you.
But
making the block hot. For real.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another time. We might touch on that because that's funny. I haven't really, as much as I've been following this situation, and we're just going to segue into this for a second. As much as I've been following the situation, I'm more caught up on the sex trafficking because I think the money laundering and the tax evasion are easy. Like, I think they're easy to get him on.
Right.
Because he's outrightly, like, stated that. So unless he has some of the best, like, cover-ups known to man, like, those are going to be some easy things to catch him on. So that's why I'm really following the sex trafficking part of that. But, yeah, we might talk about that whole part in...
A little bit later.
Yeah.
Touch on that.
Shout out to my Patreons. But, yeah, no, so I'm looking at this situation, and I'm like, yo, this all seems a scam. And so I let him know, I'm like, yeah, something about this just kind of seems fishy. Like, I want to be able to see the place before I send you any of this information.
He had you at, so this is what the funny thing is. If he would have just had you come to the building, he would have had you. Because that's where you were like, hold up, this is something ain't registering. I can't come to the building.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, nobody's there. Like, just send me it. You lost it, brother. Like, you should have he would have had you. But yeah, that was definitely a scam.
Yeah. So, and the other thing was like, okay, can I see the properties before? Like, before I send you my birth certificate?
Yeah.
And so he lets me know, he's like, well, I don't think this is going to be a good opportunity for you. You seem like you should go somewhere else where, you get a little bit more...
Peace of mind?
Peace of mind for, basically. Because I was like, this kind of seems scammy to me. And he's like, well, we're not asking for that, and the third. I'm like, well, you're asking for a lot more.
Just fax me all your information. Send me everything.
Right. Send me your birth certificate, how much money you have in your bank. He did ask for W-2s. He asked for pay stubs. He asked for electricity bills and shit like that. It was just crazy. And I'm sure
mother and father's name, maiden name.
And I'm thinking, okay, this isn't peace of mind when I'm looking at this situation. But then it gets a little bit more suspect because then when I see a new post come up and it's basically like copied and pasted information, but the phone number is different. And when I call the phone number, like the old phone number, it was disconnected. But there's a new phone number now. So I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about calling this number just to see. Like, if it's the same person.
You were this close, bro. You were this close. I don't know. Have you ever seen that Instagram post where it was like scamsomething.com? He was like, just tell me your last 4 of your social. The first 3 numbers of your social or something. He was like, it's 123. He's like, I almost got you. He's like, yeah, you did. And he's like, I'm about to be you. It's only going to take me a little bit more longer to find out your social. So you better watch out. So homie's about to get you, bro.
Yeah. No, and that's what I said. It was all kinds of red flags. So luckily I didn't give him anything outside of. I don't even think I gave my last name. He's got my phone number, I guess, but he blocked that or deleted it or whatever the fuck.
And that's why it's on Craigslist, because if they know you would have worked with someone that's in the industry, they would have been like, hold up, what's going on?
Yeah. So, and that's what you said. You said it's kind of scammy, but it's not kind of scammy. But for me, that's where the switch flipped, where it was like, okay, now your numbers changed, but you're using the same information. It's a different post. And you deleted the old Craigslist post, but again, it's the same 5 houses in the area that's advertised on this new post with a new number on the same website. And the website looks like it was done in a night.
Yeah, I mean, think about the times that we'll touch on it, I know, but scamming is up right now. Like, people have to scam right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely going to touch on that because Well, shit. That's my will of the week. House scamming, and niggas will get you. So watch out and be vigilant. There you go.
Use your mind.
Yeah. Common sense red flags. For those of you who know what red flags are, yeah, utilize those. But yes, because I do want to talk about the cost of living right now, because I feel like the amounts, and for me, I don't even notice it in a lot of things outside of just regular rent going up. I don't look at the price of regular things. But I do notice when my McDonald's goes up, because I get my coffees, and then I realize that like 3 months later, why is my coffee going up 6 cents?
Like, what's going on?
Oh, why is my coffee going up another 7 cents? Like, yo, just raised it. Why are McDonald's small fries that used to be $1 now $2.49? They are the most expensive cheap item on the menu.
McDouble, fries, all that.
Yes. Like, I think the cheapest thing McDonald's has now is a 4-piece nugget, and that's like $1.69. And that's only because now I'm watching the app because I be watching the price raise. I usually just go there for a coffee. I use the McDonald's app. I get my 99-cent coffee every morning before I go to work.
I thought they were advertising it for $1.
It is 99-cent.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's the deal. Well, okay. So the coffee, because they do advertise for $1. It's $1 from like 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. And then when I go home, I get another one. So I spend $2 on coffee every day. So you get the free one that they give you between those hours, and then you get, if you have the app, you can get another one. So I get one on my way to work, and I get one on my way home because of how long the drive is.
My boy be working. He be like, I need that coffee.
Yeah, bro. Be tired after work. And sometimes the times that I don't leave work, it'd be like 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night. So I just be like, fuck, all right, let me just go ahead and get a coffee just so I can make it home. Because I know it's like, those coffees don't keep me up long, but they get me through the drive.
I'm like you. Like, I didn't really notice the cost of living increasing, but of course, the industry I'm in, I'm like, okay, we see houses, we see things increasing. Everybody's talking about eggs. Like, oh, damn, I'm paying attention. Eggs are going up. Like, I don't really love eggs like that, but the fact that there's like everybody's going crazy about it, that just lets me know that, yeah, shit's changing.
Yeah, I think that would be an indicator. Like when you start noticing stuff like eggs, milk, and bread, like you'd be like, okay, wait, something's fishy around here. If McDonald's is going up, okay, whatever. I'll just shop somewhere different.
Like, I got them eggs, nigga.
Niggas start scamming them on the low.
The real eggs. The real eggs. Yeah.
But yeah, no, those would be because people you lose their mind about the cost of eggs going up, and it went up significantly, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So, but I think like even now, like how much. Just the cost of living. I remember when like being in this area when we were going through school time, or around the time we were going through school, Forestdale. You can get a studio apartment for like $500.
You will never see that again. You will never see that again. Them same apartments is probably costing what, like $2,000
for a studio.
Right.
That's fucking crazy. And it's like if you don't, even if you, well, you can't even be grandfathered in it anymore. I don't think.
Some of them will allow you to be grandfathered in, but you would have to be there for years,
yeah,
like over 20. But yeah, most of the time they're like, no, we need our rent. We're increasing. We're going with the times. So.
Every time your lease starts over, you be like, yo, you added another $100, $200, $300.
Right.
The fuck. And I think it's well, obviously it's not. I think it's definitely because of the response to the post-COVID restrictions, like how much people were getting away with during COVID, or how much. I don't want to say how much people were getting away with, but how much.
Tell the truth, they were getting away with stuff, bro.
How much leeway was also given in that aspect.
It was money being thrown everywhere, so everybody's getting discounts on rates, homes, grant money. Like it's only a matter of time. You're gonna see the cost of living increase, and then now everybody's like, damn, what's going on with everything? Like life is, I can't survive. Only thing that I did see that went down, which I'm happy about because I use it every day, is gas. Gas finally
gas did significantly drop.
Yeah, bro. It was rough for me for a little bit when gas was like at its top, and I'm driving every day. Like I'm driving like miles, like up and down 95. I'm like, yo, I need to get a driver or something. I need a skateboard.
Skateboard is crazy. I think I noticed I even noticed just like within the last couple of weeks, because it would go from like. I usually wait till my car gets down to a quarter tank, so it was taking about $28 to fill it up because I drive a hybrid. So it just takes about $28 to fill it up from a quarter. And then now it's like, I filled up and it was like $21. I was like, wait, something's weird. And I didn't realize how much, I never pay attention to gas because of the car that I drive. So I'm not really watching like, oh, who's got the cheapest gas kind of thing. When I had my Pilot, Oh yeah, I was definitely doing that.
Do I need to drive today? Do I need to? Yeah.
Nah, I'd just be like, fuck it, whatever. Just ride them brakes and let that battery charge. But I think the response to COVID is still like, everybody's still in that recovery mode, and then everybody's still trying to get back with the cost of living. Mm-hmm. But you would think, since it's a response to the pandemic, that it would readjust itself over time. But like you're saying, those prices will never go back down.
I think everybody's playing catch up and let me get mines back. Businesses, everything.
Yeah.
They lost so much money. They were mad at us. People weren't going out. They were mad at the government. Everything was cheap. They were trying to do so many deals. Look, I just started playing golf. That's not a cheap sport. Mm-hmm. If you go to a golf course right now, sometimes golf course you have to be a member of their community, of course. Now they're letting everyone, it's open to everyone. You can pay discounted $30, $50 to play when it's usually $80, $90 to pay around the golf. So, I mean, everybody's playing get back right now. They're trying to get their money back, and then now everything's increasing. Like, all right, we're getting our money back, now let's increase it because they have no choice.
That's funny that you realize, because I think about the requirements then versus the requirements now, and like making long-term investments or like recurring payments and stuff are the things that have more restrictions. But for you to say like luxuries have less restrictions, where they're not like, oh, you don't have to be a member of this place because we just need money. So, hey, just come on, be all.
Yeah.
Or I notice a lot of businesses like, the bar that I'm always at, they finally got mobile pay. Yeah, because they moved slow on a lot that where they weren't getting. It took forever for them to get Grubhub and Uber Eats and stuff like that. So they were late to that game.
Yeah, they want to make money. They're going. You gotta pivot.
Yeah, they finally moved over to fucking mobile. Like they changed their whole POS system. So they finally went over to the mobile pay process as well. So, but yeah, there's like a lot of businesses saying we lost too much money. Now it's time for us to play catch up.
Yep, we're gonna rate like we got you in the discount, bring you in a little bit. Now we're gonna go ahead and just increase everything, and that's what's associated with. That's life right now.
Yeah, the closeout sales, I'm loving those though.
Oh yeah,
the stores that are like 90% off everything. I'm like, yeah, let me swing by here. I don't even know if I need anything, but I just want to.
I can't even eat today, but let me get this 90% off. Let me do it. Yeah, I feel it, man.
If McDonald's do a 90% off deal, we done fell in hard times. We're coming to the end. Global warming has hit us, or
we only live in a couple more days. They doing that, yeah.
Russia has finally hit their red button. That's one of those things have happened.
Russia and China, like, yo, we doomed.
So, but no, I think the requirements is funny now compared to where they were back then, because like now it even feels like just to get a place, it feels like they're asking for a lot more than they used to. I remember like when I first got out of high school and I was first looking for places, you could find a place in 24, 48 hours if you were really looking. Now you'll be put on a 3, 4, 5, 6 month waiting list.
Yeah, there's low inventory for everything right now. People can't get houses. People can't get rentals. They can't. I mean, it's just people are hurting right now, bro. And you got to be really qualified. You got to stand out for the bunch because everybody's they all look the same on paper. You got to be that one outlier that just stands out for them to trust you.
Now, I'll ask you this, is the difference between, because you're right, it's hard to find anything, it's hard to find a car, it's hard to find a house. But the difference for those, aren't they different? Like, or the reasons for why they're each hard to find, aren't they different? Because a car, there's a chip shortage.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why, they're making less cars and stuff like that, is why I would assume it's hard to find a car.
Why do you think there's a chip shortage, though?
Because it was the labor shortage, which is what I would have normally assumed.
Labor shortage, right? People getting laid off. So everything is associated with each other. If you see the housing market, you see the labor shortage, you see cars, it's all associated.
But now in the housing market, I ask, is it different because just the cost of houses now?
Not the cost of houses, I would say it was the interest rates. People are scared of the rates. Houses are going to keep going up, right? Because if you think about the area that we live in right now, this is a prime area as far as for job security, financial, and houses are going to increase. But the houses were increasing because at one point rates were so low, so people were like, shoot, I could list my house for, $200,000 more than what it's really worth. People still going to buy it
because of the interest rates,
because of the rates. But now that everything's kind of leveled back in, everybody's playing get back. including the rates. Now you see what's going on.
So with the interest rates being higher, because interest rates are they hit a record, the new record last year, right? Of the percentage rate.
So rates were the highest in November or August. No, November. Rates were the highest in November from what I just read yesterday, which was like 7. They reached up to like 7 something.
Yeah.
But if you look at the trend now, rates actually dropped down. So we're on it went up to this peak, and now we're in February. Rates are in that 6 range, right? Ideally, everybody would want to get the rates to at least in the 5s.
Yeah.
So everybody can feel a little bit more comfortable.
But like even pre-pandemic, they were. I don't know how that just starting to roll off the tongue now. But pre-pandemic, they were still around 5.
Yeah.
Like 5 was the highest.
Yeah, that was norm. Like, and everybody, that's why I'm saying, like, everybody was okay with that. 4, 4.5, 5. Like, yeah, everybody's like, okay, cool. But then they started getting greedy.
Yeah.
Everything's on a discount. Rates, somebody got a home for like 1.5. Like, that's almost a house for free.
Yeah.
You know?
And the car rates is ridiculous. I know people that just refuse to buy a fucking car. Except Chino. Shout out Chino. He's got a car rental company. Yeah. So if you need something nice and sporty, that's the nigga to reach out to.
Reach out to him, man. I was just talking to Chino. Well, you don't know, but I was just talking to Chino 2 nights ago, and we was talking.
Oh, that's crazy, because that nigga don't pick up when I call.
He called me like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm chilling, bro." So he hit me up like, "Yeah, give me a call," and I called him, and he was like, "Yo, so how business doing?" He started talking about business, and talking about his business, and I let him go into his avenue, but he was just seeing, because his business is doing a certain thing, has that affected the real estate industry? And me and him had a long conversation about that, how it all plays into one big circle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crazy time that we're in right now, because you don't see what the after effect is going to be of all this. People are rooming together more. People are buying less houses, and you don't see a lot of people moving into that phase where they're going to start making more money that fast to catch up. It seems like the cost of living is increasing more than the income that people are receiving.
That is true,
like,
man.
Even in I always tell people, like, if you work in DC, chances are you don't live in DC. If you live in DC, you probably live in a very bad place, and you probably work in a different city. Or you work like a very minimal, not very minimum wage, but a very low paying job in DC. That's just how that works.
Just to sustain that income, maybe. Because DC, even if the lower incomes, unless you're in like Southeast, but they clean up Southeast right now a lot. But
I've been doing that for like 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. But they trying to get people to move out there and clean up and move them out this way. So it's still high out there.
And it's a funny thing about that, and that's why I love the Northern Virginia area, because I always say, if you work in DC, you probably live south of Virginia, and if you live in, like, say if you work in Woodbridge, you probably live in Fredericksburg or Stafford, and it's that trend. It's like you just kind of keep moving souther or more souther. You probably keep moving more south, but because of where we're at, the metropolitan area, we don't mind the commute.
Right.
Like, there's the difference between this metropolitan area and somewhere like, the city of New York, where they just don't use transportation like that.
Yeah, I want you to touch back on the cost of living. Like you were saying, Woodbridge, you said there was you can get a studio for $500.
This is like 12, 15 years ago.
Excuse me. Think about Woodbridge now. The average. How much do you think the average home costs in Woodbridge?
Home? You're probably talking high 2.
Excuse me.
Yeah, probably about high $2,000, I would think.
Well, I'm talking about overall costs.
Oh, like the cost of a house. Shit. I would say the average is around 4 to 5.
$450.
Damn, I'm good. I don't know shit about real estate. But yeah, $450,000 is the average cost of houses around here.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, gotta drink some water, nigga. You get that tickle in your throat. You good?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that tickle in your throat. That should be fucking up.
Pause.
But so $450 is the average cost. So back in the day, man, $350,000, $300,000,
$200,000 townhouse, $180,000 townhouse with 6 rooms.
So if Woodbridge or Prince William is $450,000, what do you think Stafford is?
It's probably around $350,000.
Yeah, Stafford isn't too far off. So I imagine. So like the cost of living is just going up substantially. So you gotta live Spotsylvania, all that area to survive.
You got to damn near be in North Carolina for you to. And I don't know how bad the cost of living is in North Carolina, but like fucking shit. But yeah, but thank God, like we're used to that. I drive an hour for work. I don't give a shit for me.
Damn.
Yeah. But it's the cost of living. And then the fact that like I don't really have a choice because it's either live in Virginia or live in Maryland. And I refuse to move to Maryland. So I'd rather just, live on a little south of Northern Virginia and make that hour-long commute to Woodbridge. I make enough where it's not like...
Too crazy.
Yeah, it's not breaking the bank just to make it to and from work.
Yeah.
So, but... I'm trying to figure out my follow-up question to the increase in... So you don't think it's... Do you think at any point it's gonna? Because like it just seems like the amount that it's going up. And this is the question I'm gonna ask. It feels like the amount that it's going up. It's just it's spiking consistently.
Too
like
rapid.
It just keeps going. Yes, it's going up too rapidly. So do you think at any point it's gonna like really slow down, but it's still gonna increase, or do you think it's still gonna be catch up game moving forward for a while?
I feel like this area that we're in right now is the new norm. So get used to this new norm. I don't foresee it getting any worse than this, but I don't know. I mean, we're watching everything, but I think this is the normal for the next 3 to 5 years.
So if you ain't got a house, live in a parking garage, I guess.
you gotta do teamwork.
Yeah, live within your means.
Yeah, teamwork makes the dream work. Y'all better house hack, shack up, something.
Yeah.
Unless you trying to get the bag, which you should be.
You should be. Yeah. And those are conversations for another time because,
right.
Yes. But see, and that's the thing I realized, like, again, because of the field that I work in, we get annual pay raises just for breathing. So, and well, in all three aspects of some sources of income, there's a annual pay raise.
Right.
So I get fortunate with that because, they're always adjusting to the cost of living, which is fine. But and that was one thing about being active duty military was great because it all depended on your zip code, and the zip code was based off the cost of living in that area, so you was receiving the amount of money based off that. It was nice I think Virginia was the highest. I think Virginia was either the metropolitan area was beating out New York, which was second, and California was number 3.
Damn.
For how much you would get for cost of living. Because I think the BAH back in, when I said active duty, you're talking 5 years ago. I think it was like $2,200 just for housing.
How much do you think cost of living went up this year?
When you say cost of living, what do you mean?
Just cost of living, like everything, prices on.
Oh, by a percentage?
Yeah, percentage.
Ooh. I don't know. It feels like 15, 20%.
So cost of living went up 8.7%.
Oh, man.
And that's the highest since 1982. Before that, cost of living, and that was back in 2020, from what I read, cost of living went up 5.9%. So there's definitely a drastic increase right now. 8.7% isn't like a lot to people, but you calculate that with like rates or anything. That's a huge chunk.
Okay, so the norm on housing record or on housing markets was 5. Like 5 would be the max. If you were paying more than 5, something was really fucked up in your history. Years ago.
A couple years ago.
So, and then now, like, interest rates were up to 7. Now we're back down to 6. Do you think they'll go back to 5? As the highest?
We're watching right now. So we want to see what the market does these next couple of months because ideally, springtime and summertime is the hot season for real estate.
People are getting out of school. People are making new moves.
I mean, they're going down, and I think if they want people to buy houses, they're going to drop it to at least 5.75 or something like that.
The interest rate's not the cost of the house.
Of course, yeah, interest rate. And the cost of the house, people think the cost of the house is important. I wish I had a graph, but would you want to buy a house that's $300,000 at a 2.5 interest rate or 6.7, and then of course, or a home that's not a good example. So 300,000 interest rate at 2.5, or $180,000 home that looks the same at a 6.5 interest rate. You would want to go with the 2.5.
Yeah.
If we do the math right now, you'd be like, damn, I'm paying way more than, you know what I'm saying? So the rates really are a concern. But in this market right now, if you can afford a home with the rates that you have now, then you need to buy a home.
So it's a buyer's market right now.
It's turning into a buyer's market. It's technically, if you have the right home and you're a seller, you can still win, but you're not getting those crazy offers that we were getting a year and a half ago.
Got it.
But buyers do have more power now because there's not a lot of people in the market because they can't afford a home because of the rates. But those people that can, they need to just refi afterwards. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to time the market. You can't time the market. Everybody keeps comparing this like, oh, this is 2008. This is nothing like 2008. Like nothing. If you could breathe, you could get a loan in 2008.
Correct.
2013, there's stricter guidelines on getting financing. They're really thoroughly checking everything. Like they want to know who your mom is, what blood type you have, who the last girl you was talking to. Like they want to know everything, bro. So
they collecting the same information that China's collecting off TikTok.
Right. They are China. That's who we're talking about. But so it's completely different ball game, and it's something that I can tell you a lot of real estate agents or realtors.
Oh wow, that sun is horribly timed right now. You see how it's getting me in a word shot possible? Go ahead, my bad.
No, you're fine. I was saying that a lot of people won't be able to sustain this type of market. Like a lot of real estate agents, they're going to go to their second job. This market that we're in right now is a market that's going to weed out the weak.
As far as realtors,
as far as for everybody.
Every kind of seller. You know, it's funny. I see that in the service industry too. Like, this is, service industries used to be able to get through just like, if you were good, you were making a lot of money. Mm-hmm. If you were ass, you were making enough. But now it's like, if you're ass, you're not making shit.
You done.
So yeah, it's for everybody in some kind of service industry or sales industry. Yeah, no, I think this is the period where it's weeding out. I think since the pandemic, it's been a time where you're weeding out the weak.
Well, no, I mean, housing market was booming in the pandemic. Like it was
Fair.
like it was booming to the point to where people got comfortable doing just enough to win. And I'm speaking on the aspect of my business, like, hey, I just got to take some BS pictures, put it online. I know I'm going to have 15 offers above listing price. I'm good.
Yeah.
Do that now, your seller's going to be like, yo, what you doing? My house been sitting for 120 days. Like, what are you doing? And he doesn't. And if you don't got any skills in this game, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
You're not eating.
So, okay. Now I understand what you're saying because of the way the market was back then.
Right.
But
that's just from my world. I know from everybody else's world, it was a lot different. So
for me, nothing changed.
Right.
Yeah, but that's because I'm not in those industries. So it was, podcast world was booming just because that was around the time of pre-pandemic was the time that I started getting into podcasting. Mm-hmm. It was a content creators market. That's definitely what it was during the pandemic. If you were doing something that people could enjoy at home, yeah, you were probably booming during that time.
Right. Nobody was leaving the house. Everybody was, yeah.
So your suggestions, your point on what's the house buying process? What would you suggest to your normal house buyer?
So I always recommend it's two things. You can either speak to a loan officer, or if you have a trusted advisor like me, agent, reach out to me first. If you don't, we're going to fight. Say now. But reach out to someone you know that's in the industry. I hope you would reach out to me. Real estate agents are going to connect you with a loan officer. So you cannot do anything at all without a loan officer, knowing how much you can get approved for. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you go look for a house and you don't know if you can buy it? Like, time is the most valuable thing we have in this world. I know you like HGTV, and no disrespect, watch HGTV if you just want to look at houses.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are a serious buyer, especially in today's market, because people do not want to waste time.
Yeah.
So go get pre-approved.
It's crazy. You're saying be serious about your investments.
Be serious about it. It's your home. Where do you spend majority of your time?
Me?
Everybody.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about me personally, because home is the last place I'm at.
Well,
I spend the least amount of time home.
Ideally, if you're not, if you're not Nelson, if you're not,
Yeah, no, I'm too busy in these streets. So
if you're not a go-getter, if you're not,
yeah, I'm too much work for me to spend time at home. I hate being at home. I feel like I get the least amount done. But he's right. Yeah, no. If you have a family, a wife and kids, or something like that, even just a significant other, you're probably spending more time at work. So I mean, at home. So yeah, no, be serious about your house. I get that.
Yeah, so that's the step. I mean, number one, number two, speak to a real estate agent, speak to a loan officer. Once you do that, then we can set up the game plan for you to be successful in the house hunting industry. Pretty much. I mean, you need to know what you can afford. Now, lean on me to negotiate you the lowest rates. I mean, the lowest cost for the home and inspection, and make sure that you're not paying closing costs, of course, but be prepared to pay for that.
Yeah. What would you say preemptively, even before getting into even before reaching out to a realtor or a loan officer?
You need to make sure that you have your finances in order, and that goes back to our very first podcast together, what episode that I was on. What's the most important thing?
Credit. 10 times out of 10.
Credit.
You need credit.
So you need credit in
Full stop.
Yeah.
You need credit.
That's it. You need credit in every aspect of life. Whether you're thinking professionally,
Yep.
whether you're thinking street.
Yeah. Your word amongst your friends, your family, your peers, everything like that. That is all credit.
I know it's measured differently, but yeah, you don't have any street credit, you ain't gonna be in the streets.
Correct.
Professionally, you don't have any credit, how you gonna have a business?
Correct.
How you gonna do anything? You can't sustain. So make sure your credit's in line. And those people that need to work on their credit, yeah, reach out to me. I have a great credit repair guy. He's killing the game right now.
Plugs. Shameless plugs.
Yeah, definitely. Now, maybe you want to touch on this because a lot of people ask, how much should I have to put down on a home? That's what's like, and a lot of people think what's the old wise men tell, I guess you could say, is that you need $20,000 to put down, 20% down. That's old. As long as you have decent credit, there's tons of grants out here to help you with down payment assistance. Now, if you have a certain bracket as far as for income, salary, if you're making like 150, 100, then some people, you might have to put some money down. So you may have to put down, but I mean, the average person isn't making that much. I mean, the median income in America is
57,000.
Nah, it just went up 60,000. 60,000. So
My bad, I'll fuck off.
Nah, you're fine. Yeah. So
I was close.
So think about that, $60,000. So I mean, you can afford a grant. You can get a grant and some type of assistance, and then lean on your real estate agent to.
I'm listening to you, but you see the sun right now.
I see it like it literally just came like let me just fuck with him real quick. Yeah. Lean on me to negotiate the closing costs, because that's everybody else's main concern. Closing costs, 3% is usually going to be your closing costs.
Off the topic, but on the topic, you think what credit repair people and financial advisors offer can be different than some shit that you can find in a Susie Orsman book?
Why does everybody want to do it themselves or like read something like?
I don't think everybody does. I just think everybody thinks that's the easy way out. I'm not keen on that. I'd rather pay somebody. I'd rather pay a financial advisor than deal with the cost of the company.
Exactly.
Like as far as the money management, where the money's going, what's the priority and stuff like that. I'd rather pay somebody for that. But most people will think I can find that. What's that guy that did Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Robert Kiyosaki. I can't pronounce his name right, but
or somebody like that saying, "Oh, if I just read his questions, Jesus, this fucking sun is killing me right now."
It's gonna keep fucking with you.
I know, John. We're getting blinds because this is crazy. If I don't think most people want to, they think that's the cheapest route.
Everyone thinks that their way is the best way to do it, right?
Even though they have no expertise in that situation.
Like, I hate the people that be like, I'm going to perform open heart surgery on you because I read a book.
I mean, technically, doctors go to school and read books
but
to learn the job.
you know what I mean.
I'm trolling, but yes. No.
All right, nigga, I trust that nigga. You just read that book.
You read that book. He read multiples. And then he did, practice routes. I mean, practice runs.
Some pigs or something. Like he knows what he's doing. But I think there's a small percentage of people who can do that just because of how their brain works. But majority of everyone, no.
Well, and that was a trick. A homeboy told me when I was in Washington. He told me, and I've held on to it for a very long time. The best way to manage your money is to stay as far away from it as possible. You find somebody else to manage your money in a lot of senses. Like if you do rentals, if you rent out houses, don't do that shit yourself. Do a property manager do it.
Please.
All you need to do is worry about at the beginning of the month, are you getting your check?
Right.
When maintenance fees come up, are you sending a check out? So stuff like that. The best way to manage your money is to have somebody else, somebody that's within that field, manage your money for you.
Saves you time, peace of mind, and just heartache, man. You're gonna be.
Yeah, this shit is crazy.
I'm buying you some blinds, all right?
I'm gonna take care of this. Give me 1 second.
No worries, you good.
That is fucking wild.
My man said I gotta edit this out. I'm glad you did that too. I was trying to get that shit out my throat, like, bro, that joint was fucking with me the whole time.
Come on.
You got some tape or something like that?
Nah, we're gonna make this work. That I'm still not so. I can still see.
A little bit.
See, it's fucking with the focus. That's the problem. Nope. Almost there. All right. Now we should be good.
You good? Perfect. I had to clear my throat. That shit was killing me, bro.
All right, sorry about that, y'all. Someone's kicking my ass, and it was messing up the focus of the camera.
It's fucking up the flow.
All right, so, fuck, what was the last thing we said?
That's what I was trying to think. I'm like, shit.
Those suggestions to buy in house market. Yeah, I definitely can't remember the last fucking thing. Fuck that, son. One more topic I get before we say bye to these free niggas is two more topics maybe. Business ownership. And I think we've touched on this every time, and this is the reason I enjoy having you come on the podcast is because we can talk about or most of the time we can talk about the same topics.
Right.
We talk about interest rates, we can talk about the market, we can talk about businesses, because based on the time that we're at, the answers have probably changed.
They have.
So the thing I want to get into business ownership about is, first of all, I realized that like after having YCC for so long, a lot of people don't know what they're doing when it comes to businesses. They'll say I own a company, and then it's like, okay, do you have an LLC? No, how do I get one? Fucking Christ. Like, that's one thing that cracks me the fuck up. It's like, you don't understand anything about the LLC. You don't understand what you get from it. Because I'm sure we had this conversation last time. It was a trick that I learned from my parents about tax write-offs. Mm-hmm. It was a crazy thing that you can get with a company, and I think I really, really, really explored it this year. It was because I kept logs, a lot more logs than I kept prior years, and was tracking everything a lot differently. So then when I go into
Congrats, bro.
do my taxes, I'm like, I would have came out owing because of the tax bracket that I'm in now.
So you got a CPA? You got someone handling your finances?
No, I still do my own taxes.
Oh, okay.
But because I log everything differently. I'm hoping that this is the last year I'm doing my own taxes.
Okay.
But no, I still do my own taxes because I'm still watching where money's going. I still want to keep track of that. And I feel like that's something I'm willing to take the time to learn. So it's a matter of like, you're right, who wants to do that? Mm-hmm. But that's, for me to learn the taxes, like where the money's going, how the money benefits and everything like that, I'd rather do it myself so I can learn that aspect. But I do want to get to a point where it's like, okay, I feel like I have a good general knowledge of it. Somebody else can do it.
So I'm glad we're going to touch on business. Like you said, business does change every year, or whenever we pod, there's a different aspect of business. There's levels to business, right? And you realize that by just keeping track of what you're doing. But can I give you a suggestion?
I'm listening.
How somebody do it? Why?
The taxes part.
The
Or
taxes,
financials as a whole.
Financials as a whole, right? And the taxes. They know more about what you can do to cut to save costs than you will ever that will save you time and money. Like, it's all about saving time than more so. Like, you want to educate yourself, you can do it on the back end, but save yourself time. Go to the expert. You know who Grant Cardone is?
No.
All right, so Grant Cardone is a real estate mogul. If you guys don't know who he is, white guy, country, grew up really poor, good dude. Check him out. But the reason why I bring him up is he just made a lot of money, right? And he was gonna owe something phenomenal as far as for like on taxes. So he went to a CPA. What the hell can I do to save money? He went to someone else that's a professional in their field. He's a professional at just making money in real estate. There's someone else that does the back end to keep his business afloat better.
Like a property manager.
Yeah, I mean, like a property manager, but I'm just saying, like taxes, handling his finances. So he went to another professional. They said, you know what? We just looked in our code. If you buy a jet, you don't have to pay taxes for the next 5 years or something similar to that. And then we can figure out how to delay those taxes on that. And there's always a game. Like the wealthy, they delay things. They play the game. Imagine if he didn't have that person. He would have paid a shitload of money in taxes.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying it's good to know. Invest in someone else to take care of that for you.
Financial advisor.
Yep.
There it goes. YCC is looking for a financial advisor. You're welcome.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
Shameless plug. Get a lot of those off today.
So that's the level of business, and I'm glad that you're doing your business, bro. It's phenomenal, and yeah, the next time I'm on here, it's going to be even better.
It's going to be a lot different. Yep.
It's going to be a lot better. So there's levels to business, and make sure you playing the game right.
But there has to be a starting point, and the thing about the starting point is, you have to realize what a business is. So, and that's one of the things is like, yeah, I've been maybe YCC is 3 years old. YCC got formed in 2020, so it'll be 3 years old this year. So, for me, I've been watching like what YCC's done. It was a while before we started the Patreon portion. Before that money started to come in and stuff like that. So, it's been a learning curve for me. But at least I know like immediately, if I want to start this business, I need to get an LLC. I decided on it in August. I had the LLC in September.
Right.
So then I'm sure we talked about this last time, but I reached out to you about the whole like, hey, why am I paying for EID or EIN?
Right.
And that was another thing I tell people all the time, because now me having an LLC for as long as I've had this conversation with other people who, own businesses but don't have LLCs. Ain't that weird? And then I'm telling him, make sure you don't pay for your EIN, by the way, because that should be free. It's a fucking social security card, social security number.
For your business.
For your business.
Yeah.
So, but as far as the business ownership, I'm realizing that so many people, now the problem is, as a business owner myself, one of the issues I'm running into, I love to see people that have LLCs, and I love to see people getting what's theirs. My problem is a lot of people should not have LLCs because you guys, or a lot of people should not have their own businesses. Right. You guys are better workers than you are runners, if that makes sense. Right? There's too many people that like, oh, I would love to hire you. I would love to bring you under the company, but you have your own business. So in some way, I basically have to absorb you because I don't want to keep outsourcing everything.
Why does everybody want to be a boss?
I want to say because everybody thinks that they can do it better.
Knowing that they're not a boss. It has to be in you. It ain't in everybody.
Yes, leadership's not, or leaders aren't made, they're born.
Exactly. It just has to be in you. And you have to be okay with playing second, third, fourth.
Nobody wants to be a support character, bro.
Yeah. But I think that came just because little man syndrome and just society now, everybody wants the spotlight. But like, where's the people that just want to sit in the back and chill?
Yeah. And they don't exist. I think that's why it's hard for me to find, because I always run into this argument where everybody always tells me, you need a team, you need a team, you need a team. It's like, yeah, but any person that come in contact with, as far as like when I'm saying, hey, I need a video editor, or hey, I need a photographer, or hey, I need this, that, and the third. Everybody has their own business. So I'm just basically like, okay, well, I'll outsource them for the time being, but the goal is to replace them with somebody within the company. Walmart has great value, mainstay, and on. Like, I want to have those too, because I don't want to see Walmart keep having. I mean, I understand why Walmart doesn't want to have to keep buying blah blah from this other company when they can make furniture themselves.
Yeah, I that's something that's always bugged me the wrong way. Like, don't get me wrong, I wanted to be in the spotlight before I actually got into business. But I mean, the most earners, you never see them. I mean, they have a front man, CFO, CEO, whatever, and they're running the business, and they're in the back, and they're getting all the money, and they don't have to be head honcho. They're letting someone else do the work, the main work for you. They're saving time and energy.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that you guys can get today is save time, energy, and invest in someone that does what you're looking for better. You can't do it yourself all the time.
Nope. I get you. Most important thing is time. You know, you're right. And like for me, that's what I always said I wanted to be. I just want to be the face of versus Woes and the co-face of Protest and Riot. But outside of that, when it comes to the other events, I don't need to be on stage for all those. I can be background production.
Like you said, you're in the back.
Yeah.
Let me get your Snapchat. Get yours. You feel me?
That part.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I'm running into a lot of people. It's like, yeah, you're right. Everybody wants to be a leader, and you either are or you aren't. Right. I'm a firm believer of that.
And I think what you were getting at, and I might have kind of drew you away from that, is just that everyone doesn't know how to run a business. I think that's where you were leading to, and I kind of like got away from that from what I was saying. But you have to know what you're doing. And you have to live up to what expectations you set for your business. It's cool to say I have a business and waste your money in the LLC, EIN. You're not generating no money. You seem cool.
Correct.
I just want to. It's cool for me to say I have an LLC.
Even if you're not generating money, if anything, like I mean, the goal is to generate the money. But if anything, if you're not using your business to even save, that's crazy to me.
Right.
So, yeah, no, and a lot of people don't know what they're like when you're doing the taxes and you're not reaching out to the professional. What are you really getting out of your business? At the end of the year, you pay what, $120 to keep your LLC alive,
depending on which one, for sure.
And then you get nothing back from it, even in the money that you spend. The money we've had this conversation before. Even if I go out and I take my computer, I open it up at the bar. Hey, I got a podcast, by the way. Right off, like stuff like that. And that's why I think it's such a big benefit for tax season is because now that you've taken this time, you've had your LLC for however long you've had it. Now you start factoring in everything that you bought under your LLC, everything that you can claim under your LLC. There's been so much little fucking. I can damn near go through half my Amazon wish list with shit. 90% of my Amazon wish list and be like, oh, company, and just copy and paste that when I'm filling my taxes out.
Exactly.
So I think there's if you don't know what you're doing with that aspect, but you have. I think it's kind of like the aspect of like talented people having businesses, and that's what kind of pisses me off. It's because it's like you're good at this, and I get that you want to start a business, but you don't need to start a business just because you're good at that craft, unless you're a good leader too.
Right. Master that craft first of all, and then become a good leader.
Correct. If you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's what it is. That's where ultimately that's my issue. Now it's starting to come back to me. What I originally wanted to go with that point was I'm realizing too many talented people think that because they have a talent in something, they should start a business. But then they come to find out you have a talent in it, but you're not a leader. So now you've wasted your time. You're harder to employ in some aspect. You're harder to employ within your business.
You know what that brings me? That comes to mind when you say that. Floyd Mayweather, greatest talent, one of the greatest talent in boxing. Who's under Mayweather Promotions right now? No one. Gervonta Tank Davis just left. He's his own man. But the reason why is he has a great talent, as far as for Floyd. He doesn't know how to lead. He wants to be the leader. He wants to be the face. And that strays everybody away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, people want to be able to come into your company and be spotlighted.
Right. And that's what they're supposed to do. They're building you. They're building up your business.
Yeah.
Played it back.
Which is fine, and that's another thing. I always tell people, like, hey, if you want to come into the company, you want to branch off and start your own thing, cool. Because I'm a firm believer there will always be somebody else to fill that role under the company, as opposed to like the leader of the company. I think that's like synonymous to whoever you or what kind of company you are, the kind of leader that you are, and everything like that. So that's different. You can't always replace the leader, but the people under the leader you can replace. You should be able to replace.
Right.
But the problem is everybody doesn't. If you come into a company and you want to start your own, that's fine. Again, if you're a leader, and that's my. Look, everybody's Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, everybody's Floyd. They want to be the man and everything. They just want to be in everything. Nah, just keep playing your role. If you're good at one thing, stay there unless you're a good leader. Plain and simple.
Yep. Plain and simple. Before we say bye to these free niggas, do you got any suggestions that you want to give to the free niggas before you give them to the Patreons for what to take advantage of in this tax season?
I would just say, don't invest your. I was about to go in on y'all actually. Just make. It's so generic for me to just say make smart investments, right? But really think about what you're doing with your tax money. And if you're getting money back, and this is not to belittle anyone, if you're getting money back, then that means you need to work harder, because the people that aren't getting money back, they're not getting money back for a reason. Mm-hmm. They're in a different tax bracket. So use your money wisely, invest in a business, invest in the craft, invest in some knowledge.
You're talking about people that are just, I'm because I got lost for a second. The people that are getting money just because of the tax bracket.
Right.
As opposed to what they're doing for their deductions and shit like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. As far as for the deductions, I already told you, just make sure you get a CPA.
I agree.
Yeah, invest in that. That's going to save you so much time and effort, because you just reading everything and trying to figure it out, someone already went to school for that. And it's going to save you time. Invest some money to make more money. Mic drop.
Yeah, no, full stop. He's right in that aspect. Before I say bye, you free niggas, I got to give you the plug of the week. It's been a while. So our plug of the week for this episode is a very dope song called Resonate by a artist called MalBoogie off a project called Where's Mal. It's a dope song. I fuck with it. You'll fuck with it. And we'll be back after this plug of the week.
Yeah. Turn me up, hey. Turn it up, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, turn the beat up, yeah. Shit, nah. Hey, yeah, hey. Hey, young mellow Mal. I can be so mellow, but then I can end up wild. Chill with my bros, smoke up, eat up, then calm back down. But most of the time, I don't really be hanging around. Hey, because I'm finding these sounds. And look at me now like Weezy, Buster, and Brown. Trying to beat around town. Watch us how I get down in my little playground. I just get up and bounce. Might smoke up an ounce. Stay quiet like a mouse. Stack up and cop a house. Yeah, just me and my spouse. But that might take a little while. Yeah, right down the line. And sometimes life is uneven and shit don't rhyme. But that's the key with just called patience. Yeah, it takes some time. Just let me go deeper in your mind. I got to resonate. But I get so tired, I don't feel the need to celebrate. Yeah. Some of my peoples be wild, so there's no need to escalate. Yeah. I'm such a Virgo child, sometimes I gotta separate. Yeah. But right now I got to resonate. Yeah. Why? Biddies be fiending, foolies be scheming. I'm just believing all of my dreams when it comes to reality in full totality. Making me write these things, having y'all feeling me. What y'all don't know is I'm too controlling. MalBoogie handle his. Yeah, it's fucking hey. Soon as I elevate, not on time but never late. Y'all always keep me straight as I always stay. You know. Hello. Time. Yeah. celebrate, celebrate. No way. Some of my peoples be wild, so there's no need to escalate. Yeah, damn. I'm such a Virgo child. Sometimes I got to separate. I got to separate. I got to resonate. Yeah. People asking me, boy, where you been at? Hey, people asking me, boy, where you been at? People asking me, boy, where you been at?
Oh shit, we're back. That was Resonate by MalBoogie. Shout out to the dope ass fucking track. SoundCloud playlist plug of the week. As always, it'll be in SoundCloud playlist plug of the week, volume 3 for this one. So yeah, shout out MalBoogie. Even though I played the song before I asked for permission, but I'm gonna hit him up and make sure he's cool with me playing the song. If he's not, that'll be awkward. So he already gave you free niggas some games, so I'm gonna give y'all niggas 2 kicks and a hug, and I'm gonna see y'all on your way. So 2 kicks and a hug. Shout out to the men that think being more masculine is equivalent to making more money. Dumb bitches love y'all. Shout out to the women that believe that being a feminist also means that you don't have to split the check. Dumb niggas love y'all. And shout out to the black people that understand that their people come from a background of a lack of financial literacy and strive to make that change in that narrative every day. We love you. With all that being said, there's a fine difference between a free nigga and a pay nigga. It's not more much to say to that. It's just very obvious. Because if I say bye to you within the next 5 seconds and then you don't hear anything else, you're a free nigga. And for everybody else that gets the rest of this juicy content, you're a pay nigga. So, peace, free niggas.